Everyone, this is Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News, and today I have a very special guest for us, the top roll king, the legendary arm wrestler, Andrew Cobra Rhodes. How are you doing, brother?
Pradeep, I'm well, brother. It's good to see you. Hello, arm wrestling people.
Thank you very much for joining the live stream, brother. I appreciate it a lot. So,
Having me.
this will be an interview about the history of Cobra Rhodes. Starting from the beginning, I would like to ask you, I'm quite sure you have already answered these questions many times, but when exactly did you start arm wrestling?
When I was a kid with my dad, it's a
Eh,
preteen.
Okay, so maybe 10, 12 years old. And
No, 9, 10. It's just
so
something that happened.
almost
And
5 decades right now. Am I correct with
yes, dude.
this?
Yeah, right. It's funny. Yeah.
And
But
I'm curious to know, do you still know some arm wrestlers who are still active, who started like when you started or even before you? Are there any arm wrestlers like that?
sure, like Norm Devio is still active, and he was a grown man when I was
Yeah,
when I was a
he's 70 plus, I guess. 72, 73, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, strong like bull and loves to pull. Norman Devio.
Yeah.
So that guy's still doing it. And yeah, he was like that statue to me when I was 14 years old. I
Yeah.
wanted to I wanted to do what that dude did.
So how tall are you, Cobra?
About 6 foot now. I think rumor is I've been 6'2", but I think
Okay.
I've shrunk a little bit. On a
Yeah.
good day, I might be 6'1". On a good day, you
Six
know.
one. And you have always been around that weight, like
Yeah,
165 pounds?
yeah, 165 was like my fighting weight. It didn't, I mean, I jumped up and stuff, but
Yeah.
I could take a turd and make 165.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about your pre-teenage, because at that time anyone can beat anyone, in my opinion. If you're not stepping into competition, you can be strong or you can be weak, but it is difficult to know how strong you actually are. But when you first decided to step up to the big competition, what was your level at that time? And let's say if that time when people started knowing who Cobra is, let's say that age was 14 years old, 15 years old, I don't know exactly, and between that time, like when you started 9 years old and 15 years old, what did your training look like? And what was your level when you were 15 years old?
I don't know if it was in my brain as training at that when I was 14, 15 years old. Until my first tournament, when I learned that like it was an organized thing. I just did it. I just did it for some lunch change. I was the arm wrestling kid. So I knew that I was pretty good at this stuff because I beat everybody. I beat all the teachers, beat all the kids. There are kids coming from other schools. On Fridays, it was like our little hustle, me and a kid named Alan Mitchell. He ran the money behind me and we split it, but we never lost. So it was a thing to do.
Right.
And then I went to that first tournament. I took a third place, but I wrangled with a guy who had just finished third in some big show that they had in Pennsylvania at the time. And I knew when adults started coming to my dad and to my sister saying, "Whoa, this kid he's he's got a bright future at this. If we could, and my dad met Norm Devio at that show, my first tournament, gave his blessing. I got to go to Norm's house, learn how not to get whooped. And
Right.
that's what I did.
Mhm. So, like, you're known as this 165, 75 kg guy. When did you get to this weight? At what age, like, you stopped growing physically?
I don't know if I stopped growing physically, but I've been able to make that weight since I was 15. I mean, I was a sophomore in high school and I pulled in the 165, if that was a class then. But like in those first tournaments, there were like 3 classes. So that class was like 0 to 185. There's just 3 classes at those Rhode Island shows. And there was no amateur classes and such back then. and uh, it was just one, just go, just get in there. So
And
that
since
was
you mentioned amateur classes, Cobra, I've heard some discussion, like some people, especially in USA, I've never heard this talk about amateur versus pro classes anywhere except for USA or Canada, maybe. Like in India, also, there are no amateur classes. Like, I don't think anyone has heard a term like amateur classes. You compete in one
right.
class, and that is the same for most countries. So, are you in support of such system? Do you like it, or do you don't talk about, like, don't expect everyone to be at your level. Talk about like us regular folks, like who get beat when they compete in pro classes. What would your advice be? Like, do you like
I
those class?
I I don't care, but I think like if you're looking for something amateur, like I don't know what amateur is. So I mean you should just jump into the plasma pool, just go after the big fish. That's the I mean I don't know any other way. But
Yeah.
I mean I'm learning because I'm old and I suck now. So like I mean no insult to Hadar, but I mean this I'm a I'm not
Yeah.
an arm wrestler anymore. I'm just trying. I love it. That's why I'm pulling into old man's class.
Super
Let's see.
match. You've got East versus West. We are going to talk about it later. Few people have joined. Itachi is in the house. Arm Wrestling Monster is saying, love your WL matches, Cobra. And Silver Home. Okay. JR Williams is saying, Cobra, I just began following arm wrestling around the release of Game of Arms. When was your heyday and some of your biggest accomplishments in arm wrestling?
I don't know. Like I had a couple good days and that's all. I love stealing recipes. I love good food, good wine, and I just happen to be able to crack somebody's wrist
Talking about
way
your profession, we see you all the time cooking. Are you like, is your profession a chef? Are you a chef or you just like cooking?
Yeah. I've got my papers, man, but I don't cook professionally. I cook at home. I cook for my family and my friends
Okay,
and
okay.
stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not in a laboratory anymore. It's at home,
Right, right.
which is where I belong.
And talking about Game of Arms, how did you like got signed up for that? Did they call you? Somebody told you to contact them? How did that deal come about?
Yeah they contacted me at I think it was at the Arnold or somewhere. I don't know. Woody Don Underwood called me and he's like all excited about this TV show, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm over here falling in love, man. I ain't trying to do no damn TV show. And then they signed me. Some offers you can't refuse, you know what I mean? So I became an arm wrestler for a year and a half. I mean, I hadn't touched arm wrestling in a long time until that show. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I watched a little bit, but I'm
So, guys, before we proceed this interview further, I'd like to let you know about an interesting fact. I am doing this, whatever I'm doing right now, at least half of the credit goes to Cobra Rhodes, and I would say the remaining 30-40% goes to Devon Lett. I'll tell about both of the stories. So, in India, we learn English in school, like from the first grade till the 12th grade, we learn English as a subject. But even our English teachers teach us English in Hindi, our local language. So English is never spoken, literally never spoken. You just remember it and write it in the exams, and we got really good at writing it in the exams, but we never used to speak, never used to converse in English. And I never had this conversation that I can even talk in English. And the first arm wrestler outside of my country, or I would say any person outside of my country, Cobra Rhodes was the first guy that I was able to talk to, and it was just like it happened immediately. I messaged Cobra about something, and he just video called me from, and I'll tell you, Cobra, I did not have the like guts to receive the call because I had never talked with anyone in English. So I took a deep breath. I went into the other room. I just immediately switched off all of the fans and everything just to create a silent moment so that my audio gets clear, well and clear to you. And then I just took a deep breath and started talking with you. And it went okay. It went okay. I was slightly nervous, and that kind of gave me the confidence. So after that, I was okay. Still, I was not doing these live streams and interviews and everything, Few months after that, Downlet messaged me that he wants me on his channel. Then I was like, I definitely cannot say no to that opportunity. Now I called my friends, like, bro, we need to start talking in English. Just help me practice with it. You do not need to speak anything, just listen to whatever I'm saying. And that was the beginning of this journey. And now I'm doing these interviews, these live streams, becoming friends with arm wrestlers, getting more connections, making more money from arm wrestling. I'm truly blessed. So thank you very much, Legend, for that.
Hey man, you earn everything you get, brother. In this world, you earn everything you get, and you wear it righteously. So let's rock.
It is difficult to have some arm wrestling memories and experience when you have not traveled internationally or not even nationally in my case. But this is one of my few great memories in arm wrestling that I would like to share with people even 10 years from now, how I started this journey.
That's
So
good stuff.
Chris
That's good.
Anderson is saying Cobra needs a profile picture on his IMDb page. Cobra is a movie star now. So please tell us something like what is up with this background photo?
This background photo, which one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what's
yeah,
on me?
behind you.
That dude? Can you
Yeah,
see him now? Yeah, that's Bass Reeves, man.
Reese.
That's that's the Lone Ranger. That dude. Yeah, that was
Mm.
fun.
So you're
Little
not
doc.
gonna tell us which movie you are working on.
No, that was a documentary that I did
Okay.
for a show called The Real Wild West,
Hmm.
and I got to portray. I was honored to portray Boss Reeves, who was
Bass
like the
Reeves,
yeah, who's actually like the real Lone Ranger.
right?
32 years as a U.S. Marshal, over 3,000 felony fugitive arrests.
Hmm.
He was a badass. Keep the hole in you.
Lagia is
Uh,
saying Cobra managed to top roll John Brizing. I'll come to that match. Before that, I saw an interview with Engin Terzi. He was interviewing someone, I think Hermes Gasparini, and the question of best top rollers in the arm wrestling world was brought up. And Engin was saying that Cobra has to be that guy. And he was telling your stories. That live stream was not so long ago, like maybe 5 6 days ago. And he was saying that once he saw you top roll John Brizink outside of straps. And you have also mentioned that story quite a few times. And that video is very popular. I think it is that video where you are able to manage to slightly crack John's wrist. And when it gets in the straps, John beats you, but you look pissed off. You look frustrated after that loss. So please tell
yeah,
us
because
something.
in the straps, he owned me. I was like out of my shoes when they said go. All he had to do was a wrist curl in
Yeah.
those straps, and he had his side pressure on deadly point. So yeah, it's frustrating. He was kind not to dislocate my shoulder. It's nice of him. He let me bounce around on his arm a little bit.
So in which year was that match? Like what tournament was it was? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
All
Probably in the
right.
early 90s or something, or I don't know. John's a tough
Eh,
uh,
Yeah.
tough shell to crack.
And Cobra, when do you consider your prime was?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's my next match. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I tried to be good.
Like the stories when the Russians were preparing for you and beat them all. Like the years when you knew that if
Yeah,
you
but
are
yeah, 99 and 99 was a good year. 99 was a good year. I hear the Russian story a lot. But I mean, there was more than Russia at that World Championships as well. There was just a
yeah.
lot more of them at
Hmm.
that World Championship.
And talking about world championships, when did you win your first WAF championships and how many have you won till now?
I think I won 5 or 6 of them, and uh, my first one was in 88 or 89, 89, right before the wall went down, right before the wall went down Detroit. I flew Yugoslav Air out of Chicago for less than $400 round trip into Athens, Greece in 1989. Yeah,
1989, right?
yeah,
So
drank a lot of red wine. Yeah,
looking at you, I think it is quite clear that you would have never cut weight to compete in a tournament. Like if you're weighing 73, cutting to 75, 1 kg, that makes sense. But I'm not sure you would have ever been like, I'm weighing 70 and my chances are less here, so let me cut down to 70 kilos. if you're weighing 75 kilos. You would have never done
Oh,
that, right?
no, no, I would always, I mean, I would cut weight if I wanted to, hog all of the classes. If there was one under 165 and I could make like 150s or 55, if it was worth it, yeah, I'll go hog,
Yeah.
work, get to pull more and, guess what?
So back in the day, were there any big money tournaments that
I
when
mean,
you
there were
came back
shows where you
home?
went 1,000, 1,500, there were those shows, mostly in Canada. A lot more money shows in Saint Michel, $400 for first each class. So you go there, you pull 3 classes, you know,
Yeah, but
try to get out of
I would guess that $1,000, $1,500, 30 years ago would be a good price, because even now, if we see some small tournaments, they're paying that exact $1,000, $1,500 price. So small,
Yeah,
if we just
yeah.
talk
A
about
thousand
small
bucks.
tournaments, then arm wrestling has not progressed that much, maybe.
The thing is, it was weird. Like at those shows, at those $1,000 shows, or $900 or 800 or whatever, there were good arm wrestlers throughout the weight class. And there's only one Brazank, I
Right.
mean, they were really good, and you knew who everyone was, and it's like you
Yeah.
could see the tournament unfold. You already knew how it was going to work.
Jeremiah is
Now,
saying Cobra is always humble about his accomplishments. He's not even telling us what he has done in his career. He's so humble. The best 75 kg puller in WAF history. And 89 to 2000 was unstoppable Cobra. Okay.
very
Pradeep,
good.
ask him what's the most important strength for his top role in his opinion.
What's the most important strength for a top roll?
Yeah.
Functionality. Your top roll needs to be functional. You need to use it to defeat your opponent. So you have to take full control. You have to become a part of their hand. You have to make them do what you want. You have to be functional with your top roll. You can't hang out there and uh, it's not a fashion show. You have to break them down. You have to use it.
Mhm. So, Cobra, what was your training looking like during that 4 decade long career? Did you change anything, or did you
No,
stop doing something?
yeah, I stopped arm wrestling, but before that, I arm wrestled. That's what I did. And I had a jet engine, piston that I used to carry and squeeze and stuff. But
So
I didn't like.
never in the gym and stuff with
No,
dumbbells
no,
or bands
no.
or
Once in
anything.
a while, if I'm in a different city, where like if I'm visiting a Rick Vardell or Gary Goodrich, I'll I'll go to the gym with them or whatever, and you know, pick up a weight and say,
Yeah.
not for me. And excuse me.
So
Uh,
how do you look at modern arm wrestling training? Everyone are using many kinds of different handles on pulley machines and doing different sets of pronation. Even John Brezink has bought a pulley, and he was also like you, only table training and no gym stuff. He has
yeah,
also
yeah,
now John has also
yeah,
now started incorporating some of the cable machine and handle stuff in his training. So what
yeah.
you have seen now, if those options were available to you back then, would you have tried them, or are you trying them now?
I'm not trying them now. Back then, I've seen the pulley system, like a pulley. Yeah, you pull it, some side pressure. Then, like everything's all snooty now, and if it works for people, that's cool. And somebody's making some bread out of it, at least, or
Yeah.
something. I mean, I don't know. I don't even understand that arm wrestling world. But I was good at the wrong time. You know, I'd like to be as good as I was right now. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Get some of them Devon numbers.
Hmm. So guys, Cobra Road's channel is linked in the is it is tagged in the title of this video and also in the description of the video. Please subscribe to Cobra Road's YouTube channel. He's doing his live streams. I think you're doing them weekly or more than that.
Yeah, less than that also. I don't think I've done it in a minute. I think I went last night because I watched that Jake Paul Anderson Spider Silva uh chump change match. It was horrible. Silva carried him. and the refs gave it to Jake Paul. They're making money. You know, Silva had 3 million reasons why not to knock him out.
All
You know
right.
what I
All
mean?
right.
Yeah, 3 million reasons to carry him. So
So
let's hope he
Jake Paul, is Jake Paul back in? Okay,
yeah,
Logan Paul is in WWE. I just confused between
yeah,
the two brothers. Logan Paul is in WWE and Jake is
yeah.
still
He
boxing.
getting paid. How old, Jer asked? I'm 57. I'm 57, Jer.
All right.
57. Oh, I'm looking at the chat right now, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind words. Thank y'all for all the kind words.
I saw the highlights. That was embarrassing. Andrea Jekwalda is saying the best 75 kg ever is either Cobra or Arsene Liliev, in my opinion. Ask Cobra, did he fear anyone and how strong was Kenny Hughes? The world feared
Okay.
Cobra, brother. What are you talking about? Cobra
No,
didn't
I
fear anyone.
did I fear anyone? No, I didn't fear. I didn't fear nobody. Yeah, I'll get my IMBD. I gotta holler at my publicist, Chris. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And my IMBD is not even close. I mean, I'm doing this stuff with no management, bro. So it's, I mean, I could give a flying. I'm not worried about it. I like working on cool projects though. Art is art.
Right.
Emancipation opens December 2nd. Right.
Yeah.
You'll see that in your theaters. It'll be on Amazon Plus the 9th of December.
9th December. Okay. Great,
Amazon
great.
Plus.
Silva did a good job of fully exposing how fixed, okay, those fights were. People talking about Jake
The
Paul's
fight stuff.
fight.
Yeah,
Hip,
horrible. I think
hip.
Silva carried him. Silva carried him the whole fight. Silva could have knocked him out. Silva could have knocked him out. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But you know, like I said, he probably had 3 million reasons why not to do it.
And I think he had one more fight that he won against Woodley, Tyron Woodley it was.
Yeah. Woodley
What
laid
are
down.
your thoughts about that fight? Was that legit in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't know. Looks like Woodley ate a right hand and went to sleep. He went limp. He fell on his face. I don't know. I think he did it for 500,000. Yeah, it looked like a $500,000 fall. You know.
Adnan Rawashde saying hello Pradeep, hello brother. Darko with a 20 Swedish krona super chat. Legend, looking forward to your match. So let's
Oh,
talk about your match. Like, please, first of all, tell us something about your opponent, Hayder. We do not know him much except for the fact that he has arm wrestled with you a couple of times and he's from Turkey.
he's from Turkey. I've known Hayder for over 3 decades now. He's a good guy. He took a silver to me in 2000 at WAF, Virginia Beach, and he's the first gold medalist at a WAF event from Turkey.
Okay.
So it's exciting. I think, yeah, some pressure's on him. You think Turkey's going to be watching the only Turkish dude on that card?
Yeah, yeah. I get
It'll be
it.
a big day. It'll be a big day if he dusts me up on it.
Yeah. So,
Huh?
Cobra, please tell us something about your comeback. I saw you having a few tournaments in 2000, late 2020, I think it was. So, did you train before those tournaments and how did they go? Like,
No.
what was your expectation before that?
Uh, hopefully go to dinner at a place with a decent wine list. That's all that I expected. Yeah, I mean, when the ref said go, I tried hard. I didn't prepare one lick, for those WAL events. It just, I mean, when Steve Kaplan said, "All right, you need to arm wrestle now. Stop showing up and taking my money," I was like, "All right, I got to arm wrestle now." So I arm wrestled, and I won some and I lost some. I, so what? You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what happened. So I don't know.
And what does the training look like right now? Like, how often are you training?
I'm pressing a wall a little bit and working a little 20-pound dumbbell. Travis Bajan's got me laying on the wall to find my side pressure. So I'm
Okay.
doing some. He's reminded me of some stuff that I told him 20 years ago. I just
Mm-hmm.
forgot it. You know what I mean? He like calls me names, but I forgot it. But
Mm,
yeah. Travis helped me remember something.
mm.
So I'm gonna do that, and I mean, my hand feels rigid. My hand feels solid,
Right.
and my wrist feels my wrist. It tweaks a little bit after I train it, but it'll like, yeah, my hand
Mhm.
is good. So, well, I'm not going to jump into a power hook with him.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can, out
So
arm wrestle him.
is your
Take up.
opponent a top roller or a hook arm wrestler?
I think he'll try to hook. When I pulled him, I didn't give him a chance to get anywhere.
Right.
You
So
know,
only one time you two have faced.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so, because I think he comes up from a lighter class. I think he comes up from 70 kilos. And I think that year, 2000, he jumped in he was in the 75 kilos. I mean, I was handing out some whiplash. So, I mean, everything, I mean, nothing means nothing is what it was. Nothing is
So
what it was.
I think he also stopped training more than a decade ago. No training at all.
Yeah. If England had told me that he was going to go win that World's Masters, I might have said, no, I'll wait. But I guess he's been a little bit active. I don't know. I haven't seen his name. England talked to me about it. I said, all right, I'm going to come drink some coffee with the kitty cats.
I think Hayder won the Grand Masters about 10 days ago in WAF.
Yeah.
So he must be training right now. He must be training. And since you're mentioning your hands, Unknown Gaming was asking, does he also have big hands? Have you ever measured the length of your hands?
No, I don't think I have big hands, but they're not. I mean, they're not small. They're not small, that's for sure. And but when I hit an opponent, when I take an opponent out of his game, my hands to them must feel huge.
Yeah.
I'm taking all of your shit. Yeah, it's gonna feel huge. It's gonna feel hard. You know what I mean? What do you say? Oh no, his hand's puny. Well, why is your wrist peeled back? His hands are huge. You know what are they gonna say? What said? Of course, my hands are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jere Antilla is asking why Cobra don't take part in WAF Worlds nowadays. He could pull in Masters class, Grandmasters. Yeah.
I haven't taken part in arm wrestling.
Okay.
I don't arm wrestle. I haven't wanted to. It's too painful.
Okay.
I'm not a trained athlete. I'm steroid free.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that question that you mentioned. Even now at 57 years old, you have not taken performance enhancing drugs. So, like, have you ever thought about it, like jumping on TRT at least, like trying things out, getting testosterone checked?
And shrink my nuts? No, I'm cool.
All right. Okay.
I'll take the ass whooping naturally.
Okay. What if arm wrestling suddenly gets big in next 3 years, so big that even if the legend class has like big huge amount of money, and you know that you may need that slight edge to beat your opponent? Like, this is of course a imaginary situation, but what would you do?
Have to be a lot of money, boy.
Time?
Have to be a lot of money, guaranteed money, I guess. You know, if you see me at 220 pounds, you'll know. You'll know it was worth it. If I walk in at 220, you'll know that the number was reached. I changed my ways.
Right.
At 220. I'm going Brazilian hunting if I'm weighing 220. Huh?
John Brzenk versus Cobra at 220 pounds weight cap. Okay. Lagia is saying that your opponent, he didn't hook at all in WAF this year from the matches that he watched.
Okay, well, maybe he'll attempt to top roll me. That'll be exciting.
So my assumption, Cobra, of course, I've not done a detailed study on your matches about this part. I was thinking that you had such a dominant hand that you were able to beat you were almost in like this, your palm facing downwards position always in your matches. You had such a dominant hand, and especially the fingers, the clamping part. You maybe never needed a very strong arm. So
I grew into a strong arm.
Yeah. Did you
John
ever?
Brzenk got me
John,
to do that.
This is what I was asking. Apart from John Brzenk, was there any arm wrestler where you realized that maybe you need to get a stronger arm because you have taken everything and still you are not able to finish the match?
Yes, of course. A lot of them from Christian Goyer to Johnny Walker. Of course. I learned. That's what I was saying. John, not from pulling John did I learn that I needed that. From John watching me pull. After, he would come to me in my disappointment and say, dude, you would have won that if you had only done this, but you can't. You're too weak there. So I had to learn.
So
I had
what
to
did
learn
you
to get.
do after that? Or like, how did you change your training after that?
I got comfortable being uncomfortable. I taught myself to be comfortable when imposing my will, and I got stronger inside with full control.
On the
It's
table,
horrible.
you started
It's
practicing it.
horrible for your opponent. It is horrible. There's
Right.
nowhere to go.
Fresh as a daisy, with a kind of a difficult question. He's asking how much has he lost in wrist strength in percentage?
From inactivity, probably 50%.
And
From inactivity. You have to understand, I was arm wrestling like Devin is on these days with YouTube, arm wrestling 100 days in a row.
mhm,
I could go. I could pull
right.
forever. Now, if someone
Okay.
could beat me in one of the upper classes, they could beat me. So what? There's
Yeah.
so many other. It was always arm wrestling.
Hmm. Was the most notable? Okay, Adnan is asking what's the most notable or greatest win in Cobra's career in his mind? Similar question to what we asked earlier.
I just arm wrestled
All right.
the first day. The first day. I mean, the first tournament when I was 14. That first tournament to say, "Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm home. This is my this. I'm gonna. You know what I mean? I'm doing this."
Yeah.
I knew it that first day when I met Gabe Bacardi. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cobra, I want to ask you about your rivalry with Engin Terzi. Before that, I'll request my fans, not Cobra's fans, and my viewers to please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Cobra's channel, and purchase the pay-per-view East versus West 5, $15. Link is in the description. So from what I've heard on the internet about you versus Engin is that you always used to beat Engin, but Engin was competing in a lighter weight class, and I think one or two times that Engin beat you, you were weighing about the same. Please tell us more about this rivalry between you two.
And there is really no rivalry. You know, I respect his game and he's a great arm wrestler, but the record was like 10 or so to 1. England only has one victory against me, and that was at 150 in Vegas, in like my comeback tournament after I busted my back.
Okay.
And England beat me, and I think Ray beat me out of that tournament at the Plaza Hotel. But before
Okay.
that, England and I had pulled a bunch, and
All right. All right. So when was the first time? Like which year was that when Engin first defeated you? When you're coming back from injury.
the Plaza Hotel. I don't know the year, 2002 or 3 or something.
Okay, so almost a couple of decades ago.
Mhm.
All right. So Andrea is saying Cobra said that he would be coming for Giannis after he beats Hayder. Does he still believe he can hang with the top guys in that weight class?
Hey, listen, how did that go in Worlds? Did Daniel beat him right-handed
Yeah. Daniel Prokopchuk didn't even feel Giannis. Like he just curled him in and put him to the side, like maybe in less than 2 seconds.
at 75 kilos?
Yeah, 75 kilos.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah.
Giannis is still got third on the right arm. I think he got the bronze on the right arm, and on the left he didn't finish on the podium, I think.
And Daniel took both.
Daniel took left really comfortably, and he won the on the right arm as well, almost. But the Kazakh guy beat him. Like it was the finals, and the Kazakh
Who beat
guy,
Daniel?
I don't
Kazakhstan?
know. Yeah, Kazakhstan guy. I don't remember his name. Yeah,
Shada.
yeah, yeah. So, but it was an amazing match. Amazing match. I think Daniel. No, Daniel had already beaten him in the prelims, and in the finals he had to beat Daniel twice, and Daniel
And
caught him. Like Daniel in this world at 75 kilos, left or right arm, I think if the match stops against Daniel Prokopchuk, nobody's pinning that guy. He just doesn't get tired. And he caught him, and he slowly started to look at him, look into his eyes. And then that guy elbow fouled. And that was a very smart decision. And after the restart, he just fired so hard at him, he flash pinned him. And once again, on the other side, he did the same thing, like a flash pin once again, and he beat Daniel.
Shit.
Nordalat
Yeah, I
Adar
want to.
Khan.
I
Nordalat
want to.
Adar Khan it was his name. Yes, what you were saying, brother?
It's funny that my son asked me about this match. My son Jackson, my 13-year-old, who got me back on wrestling, got agreed when I agreed with England to do the comeback. He was a big part of the reason why. And
So does your son also watch arm wrestling right now? Is he interested
a
in it?
little bit. He's curious. I mean, he's the MVP of his football team. He's about to go up for basketball, and he's gonna. I mean, impressive. But he's like, Dad, my whole life, I hear your friends say this, that, and the other, but you never, not since I've been alive, I don't know you to arm wrestle. You've been, like, that's the past, dude. Get over. And so anyway, here I am. And I'm gonna try to share a different art form.
So Cobra, the ideal scenario that we would like to see on November 19th at East versus West 5 is you winning 3-0 against Hayder. If that happens, like, first of all, I'm not sure you're going to answer this question, but what are your chances of winning that match? And second of all, if you win that match, what is next for Cobra Rhodes?
I think we both have a chance. I think we both have a chance, and well, I'm gonna try really hard when they say go. And that, my son asked me. He said, "What happens if you lose?" And I said, "I think that would make me work harder." And he's like, "Oh, then I want you to lose." He's like, "You won't quit?" I said, "No, I think that won't. I won't take an ass whooping and leave it be. If my body's not beat up, I could win and be beat up and be like, piss on this. It was fun. Thanks for the coffee. Let's eat some kebabs and go home.
Andrea Jekvaldaza is mentioning that Alan Zoloev and Artur Makarov are better than Daniel right-handed. Okay, possible. Best of luck to both of you and your son Cobra. So is he helping you right now with, like, telling you to train every day, or just
he's helping me with attitude. He's holding me accountable for my training. He's so busy with his school. He's a 4.13 GPA 7th grader. So he's excellent with his books, and as an athlete, he's almost 5'10", 160 pounds.
Yeah. And one question out of curiosity, Cobra. I've seen some of your interviews. You talk about Ryan Bowen. My question is, do you dislike that guy? Do you hate Ryan Bowen?
I love Ryan. He's a good kid. I love the ginger. He's all right.
Because I've seen you getting furious whenever his name is brought up in interviews.
No, I mean, some days he's strong, some days he's not.
All right.
Right. Some days it's a good draw. Every day I want to be the bad draw.
So
arm wrestling's different. It's not tournaments. There's no tournaments.
So how do you see the future of arm wrestling, Cobra? You have witnessed arm wrestling for almost 5 decades. Are we moving in the right direction to grow the sport? What are the things that we are doing correctly, and what are the things that we shouldn't be doing or doing more of?
I think everything's fine. Just let it grow organically. I mean, there's a bunch of different little, not even little. There's a bunch of different with the media now, organizations. With England's East West, the King.
Your audio muted. I think you accidentally pressed the mute button. Your audio is muted. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, it was ringing. My dude Dan was calling. Idiot. Tell him I'm busy.
Darko with another 20 Swedish krona super chat. Would love to see Cobra Rhodes in more matches. Just
Thank
you
you,
have,
Doc.
I think you have already promised us that, but like you told us that if you lose this match, you're going to train harder. But
That's a fact.
if you win comfortably, you're still going to sign up for more matches, right?
Yes, I'll pull someone. And that's it. But then my son, he said to me, he said, but you're going to be gone his first 3 basketball games. He said, I'm not allowed to leave and get beat in Istanbul because I'm going to miss his 3 first games.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to win. I'll win that.
All right. So thank you very much, brother. It was a pleasure talking with you for the first time that I talked with you, and equally so right now. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Anything else that you would like to add
No, I
before we
just
end
want
the show?
everyone to, just pull, be smart, listen to your bodies. Engen's going live. I think we should all cross over.
All right.
Tell
Yeah,
him.
he's going live. And Fresh as a Daisy is asking, ask Cobra if he ever arm wrestled high on weed.
Read the book. Wait for the book. Hey, Pradeep. Namaste.
Namaste, brother. Thank you very much, Cobra. And guys, please subscribe to Cobra Rhodes YouTube channel. Link is in the description, and also the name is tagged in the title of this video. 41 minutes ask. Okay, see you everyone. Good night. Thank you very much, brother. Please share this video. Cobra is not getting the attention that he should be getting. He should be getting more. So 35 of you still watching. It could be awesome if you just share this video in the Facebook groups and anywhere you can with arm wrestlers, of course. I don't want you to spam your family members and friends with this live stream, but Cobra deserves more views. Thank you very much, brother. Bye.